What if artificial intelligence could understand maps, analyze spatial patterns, and generate geospatial insights in seconds? Join us as we explore how AI is transforming geospatial workflows through practical demonstrations, real-world use cases, and industry insights. Join us.
Good evening all. Once again, I'm Vijay. So we have gathered here for introducing a new concept for the first time in India. The topic of this webinar is how AI is changing GIS, remote sensing, and geospatial decision making. This session will be between 4:30 p.m. to 6 o'clock. And the speaker, Makhesh Kumar, who's our lead of the GeoHarnessAI engineering program. And he carries around 20 years of experience, and I will introduce him in the next slide. We also have with us Mr. Midhun, who is the founder and the GIS specialist, who also carries around 17 years of experience in geospatial technology. So we all welcome you to be part of this session and hope when you step out of this webinar, there is a transfer of knowledge and transfer of understanding of this new concept and an innovation that AGSRT is bringing in India. So who we are a couple of you may know us. For the people who do not know us, we are Avakaza GeoScience Research Technology, established way back in 2019 as a GIS training company, and then we are diversified businesses into innovation, bringing in new concept, new technologies. We work predominantly on GIS and remote sensing, web GIS application, GeoAI, automation. We also have a strong training and capacity building team, and we also work on consulting and customization solutions. Our team comprises of PhD scholars spread across various domain and expertise, from environmental, urban, forestry, agriculture, mining, geology, groundwater, smart city. And we then have experts like Midhun, Makhesh, who carry a long history of experience. We also have team of GIS developers, data scientists, AI specialists, and then full stack developers. While in the session, we will also share more details about our company, about this particular program, about particular concept. So before I go into the next slide, a couple of things to remember. While the session is going on, we have activated a section called Q&A. So as and when you have questions, please go ahead and type it so that our experts can address. Why we have made sure this particular part is not to interrupt or have a deviation from the concept that we are trying to display here. So it's a request for all. If you have a minor or a major question, or you want to discuss a pointer, please leave your questions at the Q&A. And because we have a large number of people who have joined, maybe raising a hand may not be visible. We will try our best to reach out. Third, please leave your feedback at the last for us to understand where all we can improve for the next webinar that's going to come every Saturday. And last but not the least, all of you who are participating will receive a certificate at the end of the session. So this is a journey that we started at 2019 as a foundation. Then we became a capacity building company. 2022-23, we got into solution. 24-25, we started bringing in innovations. And today, we are bringing in the future-ready geospatial, which is an integration of AI and agentic AI. Introducing the co-host, Mr. Midhun. Like I said before, he carries around 18 years of experience in GIS and GIS development, has driven in a single focus vision AGSRT for last 7 years. and the main speaker. Magesh carries around 2 decades of experience in spatial data engineering and enterprise data automation, and also brings in decision ready geospatial intelligence. He leads this new activity or a concept that we are building in and trying to bring it to India, which will certainly be useful for all of you. And this is the future. And that's where we have called this particular program as GeoHarnessAI Engineering Program. More about this will be spoken while the session is going on. He resides in Brisbane, and he's been part of AGSRT, and he will be the main speaker. And now I will be assigning the session to the co-host, Mr. Midhun.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. So this is Midhun. I'm so excited today because we're gonna show something uh, which is gonna be a mind blowing for everyone. That I can promise you. Those GeoHarness, the program which we are planning, which is gonna cover up the entire 360 uh, part of geospatial technology. And the day I started to hear about this, with my experience and my knowledge, when I start going in depth into GeoHarness, I can literally tell you, just mind blowing. And also, it's kind of a lot of question you should ask yourself, and I started asking myself because of its possibilities, which we all knows nowadays there are a lot of discussions happening about AI, and AI is it's been like, I can say, for 5 years. We're hearing a lot. I don't know how many of you are went in depth of this. I think they know the truth, what this gonna do in coming years. Hardly maybe in 1 or 2 years, a lot of changes, and I strongly believe we have to go ahead and start learning this or adapt this AI part, which is very important. Else, we may be going very slow. And this is something I can just tell you in a simple word, that it's going to give you a superpower. And this is what I always discuss with Makhesh, that when I started hearing about it and the possibilities, um, just imagine this process what we do daily, or some process which gonna take for 1 month or 1 year, and things gonna be done it in hours or in some days. Uh, any process, any possibility. There is no limit. That is what I wanted to say. So when I say this, if we are still sticking on the manual process, yeah, the news what we say, what we hear nowadays, that AI gonna replace human. It's not just some. I didn't believe that initial days, but when I start getting into this more and more deeper, when we start working on it, I felt, because me or Makhesh or a few of Vijay, so we are all in this industry from 20 years. So we've been to both uh, revolution, like, before AI and after AI. We worked in different companies. We took a lot of challenges. We came, but the past 3 years, I can see how fast things are going up, and somewhere I feel like it's too dangerous, somewhere I feel like it's too good for humans. But yeah, and this is what I want to say. I don't want to keep it more surprise for you guys, and I really wanted to get this into Magesh hand, and I don't want to stretch this excitement I'm keeping from past 1 month. I really wanted to show you guys what it's going to do. Thank you very much. Over to Makhesh.
Thanks, Vijay. Thanks, Midhun. We will get started. Can you guys hear me? Just put a thumbs up if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Cool. Thank you. Cool. I'll share my screen and we'll get cracking. Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to. Do you need to make me a host, Vijay? Sorry, I'm just trying to work out the share. Okay, got it.
Makhesh, now you're the host. Can you just check?
Yep, cool. Thanks, Vijay. Got it. Can you guys see my screen? Yep. Put a thumbs up if you can see and hear. If you can't hear, please say so. Cool. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I would like to start with a thank you. Thanks for the nice intro, Vijay. Thanks for the quick brief, Midhun. So to get started, I would like to appreciate each one of them in this session today, making some time and turning up to this webinar. I appreciate you and appreciate your time. So we'll get started. So today is an interesting topic and we have a lot to go through. As Vijay mentioned, just if there is any question during the slide presentation, just put your questions in the Q&A and we will have it answered. And there is a Q&A session at the end of these slide presentation. And we will make sure we will answer all the questions and go from there. Cool. So welcome everyone. What you're looking at is not a slogan. The map already thinks. It's a technical fact we are going to explore in the next hour. Today's large AI models already know an enormous amount of geography. What they don't have is a safe way to deal with real GIS work. That's the gap this webinar and this program closes. Before we dive in, let me be transparent about the agenda. My goal is to give you the most useful 60 minutes on agentic GIS you have ever had. Also, so useful that when I show you a founding cohort offer at the end, it feels like the next obvious step. 3 things, stay to the end. There's one announcement we are going to make live and it's not going to be in the replay or it's not going to be offered again because this being the cohort first session and this will be an offer. So be aware of that URL link that we are going to put at the end of the slides. It will come up. So be alert and keep an eye out for that. And if that makes sense, can you please put an S in the chat and so that everyone's, it will be a bit of an interactive session. So yeah, I would appreciate everyone's participation in the chat. Please go in the chat and put S. There's a lot of thumbs up. Thanks everyone. Thanks for responding. Cool. So let's start off with the quiz. So be ready and make sure I appreciate your participation and let's do it together. So in 1854, one map stopped a cholera epidemic in London. How many data points do you think it took? A, 10 million, B, 500,000, C, about 600. Type your guess in the chat. Just give it a shot. See what you think.
Okay, small technical concern. All of you can respond under the banner of Q&A. Okay, maybe the chat might have got disabled. So you all have an option in Q&A, that is question and answer. You can answer from there.
Oh, thanks, Vijay. Thanks for noticing that. Actually, I was wondering, like, where is the chat going?
Okay.
Thank you. Cool. I see a lot of answers. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks for clarifying that. I can see the answers coming in the Q&A now. So most of the people are saying B, C, B, 600, about 600. Yeah, great guesses. So what's the answer? Roughly 600. Jon Snow plotted the cholera deaths around the Broad Street pump by hand, and the map made the decision obvious. That's the whole thesis of GIS in one story. Position turns data into decisions. Hold the thought because it's going to collide with something that's coming up in the next few slides. Again, another pop quiz. How long did ChatGPT take to reach 100 million users? For scale, the telephone took about 75 years to reach that many people. Facebook took about 4.5 years. TikTok, 9 months. And ChatGPT, A, B, or C? Type your guess. I see a lot of C's, CBs. It's nothing right or wrong answers, guys. Just give it a shot. So CBs, C's, B, C's. Appreciate everyone's participation. Thanks for that. So the answer is 2 months. Nothing in the history of technology has been adopted faster. Every industry is being rebuilt around this, and geospatial is next. But here's the uncomfortable part. Ask that same AI a real spatial question about your city and watch what happens. That's question 3. So this is a generic question. You can try it if you have access to generic ChatGPT, or you can follow along, or just have a guess and guess what could be an answer for this question. So, how many residential parcels sit within the 500 meters of a train station in my study area? So, if this is a generic question, you ask any general GPT or any model, what do you think you will get back as an answer? A, an exact verifiable count. B, I don't have access to that data. C, a confidence specific invented number. Just give it a shot, give it a guess. See what do you think would be the answer? So B, I see B's, I see C's. Thanks for the participation, guys. Yeah, keep it coming. I see A's. Cool. Thank you, guys. So mostly, in most of the cases, there's no right or wrong answer for this one, depending on the chat models or any models that you use. The answers might be different, and the settings that you use in each individual chat GPTs or Claudes or whatnot, or Google Gemini or anything, it depends on the mode you are on. But generally speaking, it will come up with the answer C with a confidence specific invented number. Sometimes it hallucinates. The model is not lying. It simply has no connection to your data, no tools, no rules, and no way to check itself. This is the single biggest reason GIS team gives up on AI after using it for a weekend or experimenting with it. And it is completely fixable, not with a better prompt, but with better engineering. keep that question in your head. Later this hour, we will ask the same question to something else and get a real answer computed from real puzzle or scenarios that we have in the upcoming slides. So this will be the last question. So I won't bog you down with the questions. I know you're not here for the quizzes, but this is the last one, I promise. What does it cost in AI credits to run every exercise in a 22-lesson autonomous spatial agent curriculum, which is the curriculum that we are going to present today? Answers being around $500, around $150, or under $15 in a free browser notebook. Take a guess and put it in the Q&A section, please. So I see A's, I see C's, I see B. It's a mix answer. Yeah, most of C's. Yep, C's. Cool. So the answer is C. So it's not going to cost much, and it can get very cheaper too. So we are not going to spend too much of a credits or usage for what we are going to explore in the coming slides. Remember that number for later, and everything is tying up. So this quizzes has been put in place for a reason. So all these questions are relevant to what we are going to look at in the next few slides. So here is the contract for this. By end of it, you will know exactly how autonomous spatial agents work and the exact pathway to become one of the people who builds them. So I know this crowd, there is a mix of experience. I believe there are students, there is experienced professional. So the pathways are laid in a way like it's very structured and it will make sense. And if anyone has any questions, we can get into the details. So let's name what your week actually looks like. The same NDVI report, rerun and reformatted month after month. Parcel and utility reports assembled by hand, clip, buffer, join, export, and repeat. Monitoring dashboards that a human still has to remember to check, and the coordinate reference system mismatch that quietly shifts everything 200 meters. Found 3 days too late. Which one of these is your week? I know we have a mixed crowd here with students and professionals. Type the scenario that comes to your mind or that you can relate to in the chat. So based on what is presented in the slide, if I would appreciate that scenario or the scenario that you want to, that you can relate to or think about, just type it in the chat, see what you can relate to. What are all the automation or the tasks that you think about on an ongoing basis and what you want to learn, do, or automate? Just chuck it in the chat and let's see what everyone has or have an idea in their mind. I see no one understood the question and I don't see anything in the Q&A. That's fine. I know not many people can relate to this scenario, but what we are trying to say here is there are certain GIS operations that you will encounter when you start off as a student. It will be a very generic scenarios that you're not yet exposed to. But as a professional, once you get into a job profile, you will start looking at scenarios where you'll be doing the same thing again and again. There was the idea behind this slide to get a sense of where things are at for different people in their organization or the level that they are at, just to get a sense, but that's fine. We will keep moving on. So two things are happening at once. From one side, AI tooling is arriving in geospatial, whether we are ready or not. Job listing now say GeoAI, spatial data science, AI automation, on top of everything you already do. From the other side, the AI courses teaches chatbots and prompts, and the GIS courses teaches buttons and tools and all the mechanisms that you learn from a GIS perspective. But nobody teaches the intersection, and that's where the actual jobs are appearing. The people who bridge both sides are about to be the most valuable professionals in this industry. You have probably heard this. Maybe I've said it. We tried AI for GIS. It made things up. It can't be trusted with spatial work. And they are right about chat. A chat window has no tools, no access, no permissions, no audit trail, no coordinates reference system awareness. The conclusion is correct. The experiment was wrong. If that's been your skepticism, it's a good instinct. And today is finally getting a proper answer. And today it finally gets a proper answer, and you'll get to know why and how in the future slides. The short-term pain is learning something new. The long-term pain is watching the work change without you. The pain of staying the same has to be greater than the pain of change. And in geospatial in 2026, it finally is. The good news, and this is the part nobody tells you, the barrier to entry has never been lower. You saw it in the quiz, under $15 in a browser. That's how much it's going to cost. It could be cheaper too. What's been missing is a map of how you get there, and that's what the next 40 minutes will give you. Here's what's coming. The 170-year story of GIS and why every era automated the map but never the analyst until now. The 4-word idea that separates a toy AI demo from a production spatial system. An AI agent that plans, executes, and verifies a real spatial analysis and tells you what it cost. The exact 4-level pathway from where you are today to autonomous system engineer, whichever side you are coming from, and one founding cohort announcement we have never made before. This is only for the live attendees who have made the time to come up to this webinar on a weekend, and it's a special offer. So stay tuned till end of the webinar. Let's go back 170 years. A word on who's talking. So as Vijay introduced AGSRT, the Geospatial Professional Development Institute, together with the architect, which me, we have pulled together 22 module engineering blueprint for autonomous spatial agents, built and tested end-to-end on real production GIS infrastructure, live map servers, real satellite pipelines, real parcel data. And why we shared it? We are building an ecosystem, a program, a community, a platform. The founding students who master this framework first are the ones we will build it with. Your success stories are our marketing. That's the whole motive. There are AI schools and there are GIS schools. This is the only program built at the intersection. You happen to be at the right place at the right time. The model finally became capable of multi-step tool use that did not exist in usable form 2 years ago. The cost collapse, real agentic exercises now runs for cents in a free browser notebook, as mentioned in the quiz. And the industry demand exists, but the talent pipeline does not yet. Every technology shift has a short window where knowing it early is a superpower, as Midhun mentioned early in the session. GIS plus agentic AI is inside that window right now. Part 1, what is geospatial really? 170 years of map that think, 4 eras of GIS, and the one thing none of them managed to automate. Walk this with me, okay, quickly. So 1854, John Snow, Corolla map, spatial analysis before computer existed. The 1916, Roger Tomlinson builds CGIs for Canada, and the term GIS is born. 1969, Esri is founded, the desktop era begins. The 1980s, ArcInfo spatial analysis becomes software. 2005, Google Maps and Earth, the whole world gets a map in its pocket. 2008, the Landsat archive opens free, the satellite data floodgates. 2015, Sentinel-2, Cloud GIS, Earth Engine, planetary scale analysis. Notice the pattern at every step. Each era automated the map, drawing it, storing it, serving it, scaling it. And in 2026, the analyst still runs every workflow by hand. That's the pattern. Every era automated the map, no era automated the analyst. Digitizing, storing, serving imagery, all solved. But the judgment loop, look, decide, run the tool, check, repeat, is still a human, still one workflow at a time. Fair? If that makes sense, just give a S in the chat, just to make sure I don't want to put everyone to sleep. Would appreciate some interaction in the Q&A session. Just put yes if that makes sense where we are going with these slides. Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you, Amna. Thank you, James. Thanks, Cyril. Thanks, Lavanya. Appreciate your response. Thank you, guys. So part 2, what is AI really? 70 years to learn language and why the last 4 years changed. Everything about AI means. When these two timelines collide, you will see exactly why 2026 is the year. Same walk, other timeline. So 1950s, Turing asked, can machines think? In 1956, the Dartmouth workshop coins artificial intelligence term. 1966, ELIZA chats, the first hype cycle, then the AI winters. 1997, Deep Blue beats Kasparov, narrow AI wins at one thing. In 2012, deep learning breaks through and machine learns to see. 2017, the Transformer paper, machine learns language itself. In 2022, as everyone knows, ChatGPT and generative AI reaches everyone overnight. And then 2023, models learn to use tools and everything changes. A model that can only talk is a consultant. A model that can use tools is a colleague. 4 words that gets confused all the time. Let's fix them now. AI, machines doing tasks that need intelligence. That's 1956 onwards. Generative AI, model that produce text, code, and images on request. It answers. AI agents, models that use tools in a loop to pursue a goal. It acts. Agentic AI. This seems to be a buzzword with agentic AI nowadays. So engineered systems of agents with planning, memory, permissions, and recovery. It works. It answers, it acts, it works. Type in the chat the highest level you have personally used so far. So what you can relate to. Have you used AI? Have you used or experienced generative AI, AI agents, agentic AI? Please put it in the Q&A section, please. I'll get a sip of water. Generative AI, thanks, Lavanya. Generative AI, Siddhi. Amna, Gen AI. Mustafa, Gen AI. Cyril, Gen AI. Nice. Everyone is into Gen AI. Ravi, AI agents, great. Monisha, generative AI. Cyril, generative. Sorry guys, I can't keep up with the messages. Sai, Gen AI. Sweet. Great. Thanks for the participation, guys. I appreciate the chats. Omkar, Gen AI. Great. Thank you. Now let's demystify the whole thing. An agent is just a while loop that calls a model. The model proposes a tool call. Your code runs it. The rest goes back to the model. Repeat until done. That's it. So no PhD, no GPU cluster. A loop you could write this weekend, literally. So this is pretty much it, the condensed form of what it is. There's more details to it, but when you look at it, that's the basis and that's the basic when you say an agent does. That's the core principle. Here's what the loop does once it's real. Give 3 spatial tools, the model chains themselves, buffer, intersect, count, in the right order without being told the sequence. It hits unfamiliar flood zone data, loads a skill file on its own, and applies the official risk thresholds correctly. And it reasons over a 10 million cell elevation model that could never fit in its context window via summaries it requests itself. So it's basically smart enough to get the job done without us literally saying to it what needs to be done. So that's pretty much the concept of an AI agent. When it comes to, if you put an incline to the GIS side of things, and that is the buffer, intersect, and count. You don't have to explicitly say to it, do this, that. It knows, given the task, what to do, how to do it, and how to get the job done. Now, the bad news. I shouldn't laugh when I say the bad news, but I thought it's sarcastic. A raw agent is a brilliant intern with no supervisor. Ask it to buffer by 100 in a geographic coordinate reference system, and your 100-meter buffer comes out the width of a continent. I believe a few professionals in the session would relate to it. The units were degrees. Nothing stops it writing to your production layers, no audit trails, no cost control, no memory. One API hiccup and the whole analysis dies. So what turns a brilliant intern into a reliable professional? The same thing that works on humans, structure. In AI engineering, in AI engineering, the structure has a name. GIS doesn't need a chatbot. It needs a harness. A harness is everything wrapped around the model that makes it safe, verifiable, and autonomous. The model supplies intelligence. The harness supplies trust. Chat gave you intelligence with zero trust. That's why in the previous quiz example, some models can say specific answer, like depending on the chat GPT or the model or the tools or access you give, some might be spot on, some might miss the mark. And sometimes you would have experience, it might hallucinate, and it will guide you in a different direction. But once you see the split, you can't unsee it, and you will evaluate everything AI tool you meet by it. So basically, when you give it an access, tools, the data, the context, and all those stuff, it will be spot on. 7 components. These are all the core stuff when it comes to harness. Context. The agent knows your coordinate reference systems, layers, bounds, and conventions before it acts. Tools. Type, validated spatial operations, buffer, intersect, fetch, and it has real GeoPandas underneath. Permissions. Read only layers or read only in code. Out of bounds, coordinates are rejected, not in code. Not politely disengaged. So what it's saying is, when you can explicitly define in code what you can and can't allow the model to do, and it will follow the rules. Hooks. Every operation validator before it runs and logged after. A full audit trail with a running cost meter. So you can just literally monitor how much you're spending for each of the tasks, and it gives you a clear idea of where things are happening, and everything is logged and audited. Planning. The agent prints its numbered plan before acting, and you watch each step complete. Memory. Project, coordinate reference system, layers, and past results persist across session. Recovery, analysis, excuse me, analysis that survive failure. If your work is government or enterprise, permissions and hooks are the two that make AI defensible to your manager. So I know there are students in this session, but what I'm trying to say is, when you get into in professional environment, these are all the compliance and all the constraints that organization have that you need to comply to. And I believe most of the organization are still working things out. But Harness has those infrastructures in place where it makes it compliant, and knowing the usability, it puts us in the place. What does a Harness agent survive? The map server dies mid-analysis. It fails over to cache. then synthetic data, and tells you which source it used. A self-intersecting 1980s polygon arrives, repaired automatically, and the analysis continues. It's asked to write to a protected layer, hard blocked in the code, and the error messages teaches the model to route around it. A 200 site infrastructure audit, a fleet of agents in parallel, crash resumable with no message queue infrastructure at all. We are deliberately pulled the plug on a live map server mid-run and watched the analysis finish anyway. Everything you just saw can be built by hand, raw Python, no frameworks. We know because we wrote all the 22 modules of it: loops, tools, permissions, hooks, planning, subagents, skills, context management, memory, dynamic prompts, error recovery, task queues, background jobs, monitoring, agent teams, protocol, autonomy, isolation, MCPs, and full capstone system. One mechanism per module, nothing is hidden. If you could genuinely build this, every layer of it, would that change your career looks like in 2 years? Type S in the Q&A session if that makes sense for the previous slides that we have looked into, and whatever we have just in the last couple of slides. Just type S in the chat so that it gives me a confidence, because I'll be going on with the next slides. It gives me an idea of where and what you feel at this stage. Just put S in the chat, please, so that it gives me an idea, so you're following up along. I know we are throwing a bunch of text and slides at you. Just want to make sure everyone's on the same page and getting along with the slides. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the comments. See a lot of S's. Sweet. I'll keep going. So, same question. So this is a scenario where we wanted to do a demo. So what the slide says, how many residential parcels are within a 500-meter of a train station. So this is a scenario where we wanted to show you the difference. So basically, if you ask a chatbot that previous question, it will say sometimes approximately 2,400 parcels, plausible, unverifiable, and it invents the answers. So basically, it's a hit and miss. But with an harness, what you could see is a specific answer with all the tools, context, and awareness. And this is where we wanted to give a quick demo. And over to you, Midhun. So if you could please share your screen. I'll stop my share. And if you can please take over and share your screen. And if you could please demo.
Yeah, sure.
The scenario. So what Midhun would be showing is pretty much what you'll be experiencing in the course, which is set up in a nice structured way. So all the modules that we are going to present, you're going to experience similar visual and structure that Midhun is going to present. So basically what Midhun is going to do is give a quick scenario-based question to a generic, like in this case, a Gemini, Google chat interface, and then switch to the interface where we have been working on pulling, where the team has been working on pulling a GeoHarness structure and a studio together to give a genuine experience of harnessing capabilities. Over to you, Midhun.
Yeah, I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just going with a simple example. This is the pro version of Gemini, and so I'm going to do a prompt. So this is a common issue. Like since we are into training and R&D, there are a lot of students comes from different states and stay nearby our office. So it's quite difficult, even though Google is there, Google Maps is there, finding out the nearest PGs. I seen still people struggle with that. So we always try to figure it out the real world problems, and this is something one of the problem we took for the hardness purpose. It's a test. Don't take it seriously. It's a test. Which I'm showing with the Gemini, which is high-end model, which Google have. So, and don't think we are comparing and we are showing something that we do better. All this. It's a prompt how GeoHarness do and how Gemini is going to do here. So I'm gonna enter with this prompt. So paying guest accommodation within 5 minutes walk. Okay. So you never see this 5 minutes, or when you prompt in Google Maps something like near me prompt, which always just show this point near me, but you never know the distance and what it is actually creating. Even the same concept, I'll show how Uber and Ola use it when they book the taxis. When you, I mean, a customer book the taxis, how actually the back end things are working there, a virtual concept. So here, I'm just prompting. So disconnecting the Google Maps for sure. Okay, so it's directly connected to Google and it's showing the PGs nearby. And this is our office, and then the PGs which is near to this place. It's showing it's listing out 5 minutes walkability, almost 3 PGs. Okay, so you wanted to go from here. I think you can connect to the Google Maps and you can find out more information. You can navigate to that. So, but we wanted to show how in geospatial things has to be done, and with more precise and more uh, detailed way, which is actually in geospatial world, customer or client or people expect. Okay, even for a case of real estate or business intelligence. So I gonna show our the built up of harness. Okay, just let me change the screen. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen now, GeoHarness. So you can give a thumbs up. Okay. So this is something the craziest stuff we are building it now, and yeah, it's so much of things happening here. Yeah, I mean, this is not just it's GPT or Gemini. I mean, this is a core geospatial connected world. There's so much of things is connected, but still, yeah, a lot of surprise gonna come once you guys are getting into the real scenarios of this training. Okay, so this is gonna be more powerful and more kind of surprises gonna give you. So I don't want to keep it more things. So these are like I just wanted to give you an introduction. This is a harness studio, but this is not your product or something we are just showing. This is your what you can say uh, practice sessions for students. If anybody going to join for harness, they're going to do. But the real brain is somewhere behind this. That is Makhesh is explaining you. I'm just showing the front end. I'm just showing the UI UX part of this. Okay, so these are the lessons and sessions we made it for everybody to practice manually, and also how it's gonna do when you enable the harness. So manually you can test and see how much time it's gonna take, and when you connect with the harness, how much time gonna say. Now it is already connected to the harness, So I'm using the local harness here. So I do have Anthropic LLM planner, but I'm just what we build. We just gonna try with this. The same prompt you can see here. We ask the questions and just generating a plan and then approve and execute. So this its execution is happening, and you can see the harness decision which is running behind. Here you go. So we just build a map, web maps, and it shows our AGSRT office location and the nearby PG. And this is what exactly, if you are here in the office location, in 5 minutes you can reach. Okay, and this is what reverse if you think when Uber and Ola try to connect you when somebody book the taxi. This is what happened. This is never going to be a normal buffer with the circular. Since this is isochrome buffer, we can call it as, and this is what the intelligence, what network analysis tool can do. You can see it's found almost the golden ring. Those are the PGs. Want to get to know more details? It's show the more details here. And yeah, I mean, these are the web application. You can say we have different things. We kept it. You wanted to see OpenStreetMap view. You can see that. You wanted to check with light mode. You can see that, and the dark mode. And you wanted to export this file. I mean, this is another option we are giving, that you want this data to be stored in somewhere. You can also store this. And these are the different views we are building upon it. And you wanted to see another report. Okay, this is what the harness report, we can call it as a detailed report of your research or your prompt, which is probably most of the chatbot will give you. But we have doing it in a different way. The reports is generate in a detailed way, and each and every PG's location, distance, and what we use behind. Because this is a lesson, this is not a production ready or something we are giving to the end user. So you will learn how this has been done from the back end also. And one more thing, we have the Python code for the notebook where you can write manual function of the same, where we also connected the same lessons. You can try writing Python code and you can write and see how much time and what are the process you have to do when you do it manually. And yeah, I mean, this is a different view of your data. We connected with different library. We can say it's CCM Map Studio we use, and you have MapLibber. This is a vectorized map format where you can feed it in the 3D. So here we can top up with any satellite images or any data. Okay. So yeah. So there are so many things, but just I wanted to show one what do you call exercise here. And you can see we have connected to a lot of MCP server here, and this is all, it's a learning process. Those who are geospatial expert, if they knows what actually this thing gonna do. So literally, you can do anything from the harness to the geospatial world. Even you can control your geo server, you can control your PostGIS. You wanted to write a query from here, you can execute, you can create a workspace, you can build an application in. I mean, this is something the future what we are looking at, and what you guys gonna learn also. And this is the superpower I'm talking about. Just very demo. I mean, I'll tell you this like 0.11% if I'm not wrong, Makhesh. So thank you. I think over to Makhesh. You wanted to show anything else? I can show also, Makhesh.
Cool. Thanks, Midhun. So just to add to what Midhun was saying there, Midhun pulled this together quickly, and the team has done a great job pulling all the lessons together and putting it in a harness structure. So The idea behind that presentation was harness enables you to solve any workflows that you have in your mind, giving it the right context, tools, and the memories, and setting it up with the right compliance, security, and whatnot. You can achieve any automation and plonk in any models that you have access to or you want to work with. As you know, models keeps changing, and there's a lot of stuff happening day by day, and it's hard to keep up with all the model enhancements, and all the big companies are in a fight to get to the first AGI or super intelligence or whatnot. But what we are trying to say there is we are not talking about any particular or specific models. So when you are looking at a GIS specific workflow, what harness gives you is the superpower, as Midhun was suggesting, to accomplish any workflows in a smarter and expedited way. So the use case that we were trying to present there was same prompt with Gemini. It knew, mind you, that that's Gemini, that's Google. They specialize in the spatial world, and they are up there in the chain where when it comes to spatial. So in Gemini, it came up with the view, the map view with the nearby accommodation, and it gave the routing and whatnot, similar to what you have experienced in Google. But with the harness, what you can do is with the same kind of thinking, same kind of prompt, if you have defined the capability of what you're trying to solve within the harness, you could have achieved something like with the same prompt. You could say what it can do is when you give that same prompt into an harness, is it will map it out. It will do the routing for you. It will do the analysis for you, and if it knows you from the memory, it will say, okay, these are all your preferences, and I believe this would be the best location for the intent that you're looking up for. And also it can print you a message, and if you have connected the right tools, it will execute the next steps. It will go above and beyond for the intent that you are trying to ask, rather than just answering your question. So that is the capability and the power that harness thinking has. And when you add all the GIS concepts and the domain thinking into it, it goes to the next level. So thanks for that, Midhun, and I will keep going with the next slide. Can you guys see my screen? Just give a thumbs up. Yep, cool. Thank you. Just wanted to make sure. Cool. So this is the use case that we wanted to show, and it's work in progress. So that was just an idea, and the team has done a great job pulling it together, and it's growing, and it will evolve, and it will be going to the next level. Imagine if you provide this use case into a harness. Like, let's just imagine the harness is all set up, right? When you say assess urban development suitability of the CBDs, northern precinct, including the flood risk and pedestrian accessibility, and produce a PDF, it will literally do that. And if you have provisioned it with the right tools, the context, and the capability, and have it facilitated, the full system, it will plan the full analysis, queue the tasks, fetch data in the background, run 3 agent team in isolated workspaces, validates every handoff, survives a server outage. If something goes wrong, it will still recover, and it will still return a PDF report, a scored suitability map layer, and its own session memory in minutes. So that's not a demo of someone else's product. That is the system you can learn to build every line of it, so you can rebuild it for your client, any data set, any city, any professional use cases. So this is exactly what this course is about, and this is where you will get into the details and get to the first principles and start building it from there. So where does this skill go? On the left, the roles opening now. So as you might be aware of in the market, there is GeoAI engineer, spatial data engineer, GIS automation developer, AI solution engineer in utilities planning and property agriculture. On the right, the work already being asked for, like automated, for example, automated NDVI and crop monitoring reporting, parcel and utility report generation, flood and environmental risk monitoring, BIM and CAD to GIS pipelines, assets audits, EIA mapping. These aren't hypotheticals, they are the workflows enterprise are already bringing to us. Every workflow on the right is a corporate engagement waiting for someone who can build the left column skills using the left column skill set. That someone is CAS for now. Before we go on, if we ended the webinar right now, would you agree you understand agentic GIS more clearly than 99% of the industry? Type 1 if yes in the Q&A session, please. Cool. Thank you, guys. Mustafa, Anuradha, Babu, Monisha, Cyril, Sai. Cyril said no. Okay. That's interesting. Deepak said 1. Cool. Thanks, guys. Sathyan said no. Cool. That's fair enough. I appreciate the honesty there. Cool. Thanks for your response, guys. "60-second recap." Just recapping what we have just seen. 170 years of GIS automated the map, never the analyst. That's the vacancy. AI finally learned to use tools, answer, action, and work. A raw agent is a brilliant intern. The harness, context, tools, permissions, hooks, planning, memory, recovery makes it a professional. You watched it live, invented numbers versus computer answers with an audit trail. 1 sentence, full analysis plus PDF. That system is buildable by you. So choice 1, take everything from this hour and build it on your own. I have absolute confidence that you could take everything we covered today with the concepts on your own, go out and put it into action. The concepts are now yours with enough evenings, enough debugging, enough wrong turns quietly corrected. You could make a real go for this. And if that were the only option, it would still be a worthy part. You can still go ahead, learn, and get things done. But what if we went at this together? What if we played an active role in your results? Live guidance through every module, labs where the debugging happens with you, a cohort walking the same path, and a working capstone at the end that we help you ship. If that option existed, would you want to hear it? Say yes. What do you feel in the chat Q&A? See what do you feel about what we've just saw, and what do you feel about this question? Thanks for the interaction, guys. I appreciate your response there. Thank you. The GeoHarnessAI Certified Agentic GIS Builder, the core level of the engineering program. And this is the founding cohort. Live, guided, and build focus from your first agent loop to a working autonomous spatial agent. The format is live sessions plus labs. It runs like 45 to 60 hours. And you finish with a working spatial agent you build and the professional certificate which comes with that. So here is what you walk out with. Working spatial agent built by you. It understands a GIS request in plain language and plans the analysis. It calls real spatial tools, validated, coordinate reference system safe, permission guarded. It remembers your project across sessions and logs and prices every operation. It recovers from bad geometry and dead data sources on its own, and it delivers a report and map output, your capstone, your portfolio piece. 12 guided modules. And notice something, you already understood this element. That's what the last 40 minutes did. The spatial loop, your first working agent, spatial tools, these are all the concepts that we will be covering in detail, and it will be hands-on, and we will go to the first principles, and everything would be in a detailed manner. So it's not like we are selling a product or creating a product by itself. It's touching the first principles when it comes to harness thinking. And these are all the modules that will be covered in detail, and we'll be going through each modules, working things out in a live session. So the modules are the spatial loop, spatial tools, permissions, hooks, planning, subagents, GIS skill library, context management, spatial memory, dynamic system prompts, error recovery, capstone build. So these are all the touch points, and we are continuously adding more into the course. And as we speak, it has already touched 22 modules, and there is other thinking and facilitation thinking that would go into this offering, which will make it more interactive. And we will be touching the first principles, and we will covering the core concepts, which will give you wrap around all the first principles. And these are all the modules that we have worked out for this course. And you will come to know more details in the next few slides. So your capstone project, and you can choose your build. It can be a flood risk assessment with multi-criteria analysis, groundwater potential mapping, urban heat island monitoring, or land use and land cover change detection, soil erosion estimation with USLE, urban sprawl, and build density. So these are all the multiple projects that we have in mind, and it's not constrained to those projects. You can come up with your own projects if you have a use case or a valid scenario. Applying the first principles, we can get to that, and it will be a guided end-to-end, reviewed by the team and demonstratable to an employer or a client. Choose the one that looks like your next job. People finish with what they choose, basically. So the opportunity is there, the scope is there, and it's a great opportunity to pick a use case, look into the details, learn it, grasp the concept, and get it done. And the core doorway, and it's not a destination. Here's the full pathway with first batch pricing on every level. The foundation bridge, which is AI and GIS fast tracks, which goes for 20 to 30 hours with certificate. And the core, which is the certified agentic GIS builder, the core level, the founding cohort, and it goes for 45 to 60 hours. Both professionals and students, and it's being designed for both the professionals and students, and you get a professional certificate. And there is this advanced autonomous spatial agent engineer, so it goes for 60 to 80 hours advanced certification. And we also touch for the advanced part, like the full stack GeoHarness engineer, which covers the MCP servers, post GIS GeoServer deployment, and the product builder level. One more thing inside the ecosystem for teams, for organizations, we take one repetitive geospatial workflow. It could be any use cases that you could think of, and an agentic harness around it. We will help build that with human approval gates, with audit logs, and pretty much all the concepts that we looked at from a harness perspective. If that's you, just mention in the feedback form that you'll get a link shortly. Let me put the whole founding cohort package on one slide, and this is the important slide. 22 live guided modules, 40 to 60 hours taught to build, guided labs, debug with instructors, not alone at midnight, capstone build, but plus the team review, your portfolio agent. So you will get access to whatever we are pulling together in the GeoHarness studio, and you can access all the provisioning that we are doing there. So which could be GIS skills library, all the skills that we are pulling together. And pretty much you get the founding membership and the acknowledgement for that. And the foundation bridge is costed at 18,000. The certified agentic GIS builder core level is priced at 69,000, and advanced autonomous spatial agent engineer is priced at 1,20,000. So you see the form link there. I know I'll get one of the team member to put it in the chat. If you're interested, just go into the Q&A chat and grab that form and put in your interest. If you're interested, and just register your interest using that form. This is the structure we have gone for, and this is what's in the offer right now. Before the price makes sense, you should know why this deal exists. We are not optimizing this cohort for revenue. We are optimizing it for success stories. GeoHarness is an ecosystem play, a program, a community, a platform. The founding students who build brilliant capstone become the proof the whole system stands on. That's why the founding cohort gets terms nobody after them will see. So let's price the do-it-yourself route honestly. Assembling the curriculum from scattered docs, papers, and repos, months of evenings, debugging CRS traps and all the constraints that you have to get through and go through the concepts. That's the place most people quit when trying to get into new concepts or trying to learn something new. There is no feedback loop. Is your architecture actually right? You don't know what you're doing, and it would. I've been there, and I've felt the same. Like it would be nice if someone guided you with step by step for anything new that you're trying to dwell into. You will find out only when it fails, and the opportunity cost of arriving 12 to 18 months late. That's the real price. The information is genuinely learnable alone. The time is what you can't get back. At the start, I promised one thing that would only exist live. This is it. So here are the numbers. First batch pricing, and every level is discounted. The foundation bridge, regular price, as I mentioned in the previous course, is 18 grand. And we have come up with the founding cohort price, which is 14 grand for the foundation bridge. For the certified agentic GIS builder, it's the 49,000. That's the discounted price. And for the advanced autonomous spatial agent engineer, we have provided a discounted price of 89,999. Because you're here live, taking an hour to invest in yourself, you get the best terms this program will ever offer. So go to that form that is on the display right now, register your interest if you're interested, and make sure you get into this phenomenal course structure that we are putting in place, and there will be no stones unturned for the scenarios and the concepts that is covered in these courses, and the outcomes would be excellent. And we are into this program so much that it's exciting to even put this course together, and it's exciting to work in it as well. And I believe the same excitement will be transferred to everyone who is getting into these courses. And you'll be dealing with the experienced team that AGSRT has, and we bring the combined experience we bring into this forum. So I just want a confirmation from the team that you put the forms in the chat, please. Sorry, there's too many.
Yes, Makhesh, we have put the registration form, the founding cohort form. So whoever is interested and to take advantage of the first batch fee structure and the discount can fill up the details in that form. It's available in the chat, so you can have a look at. The link is there in the chat. You can click and update your information.
Cool. Thanks, Vijay. So bonus, the working library. So we have just called out only a few bonuses, but there will be more as and when we add a lot of stuff into the harness or the studio that we are going to provision. So what we have called out here is there are certain skill sets that the team has pulled together. The skill files that we are pulling into the GeoHarness would be available for you to use, experience, learn, and do and grow your capability. And you can use it, extend it, and ship it in your own systems. So the bonus is pretty much the room, the GeoHarness network with founding member status. So this is the first cohort. So this is where the cohort's alumni and the team share builds, review capstones, and route opportunities, including enterprise project work as the ecosystem grows. Founding members get that badge permanently, so you'll be provisioned with a special badge. So it's a status later students simply cannot obtain. So basically, since this is being an introductory offer and this is the first time ever we are pulling this together, and we are confident enough to say there is not many courses out there which pulls these two concepts and the two worlds, to be honest, together, GIS and agentic harness thinking together. And as I said in the previous slides, we are in the right place at the right time. And there is not many people who could pull this together. And it's a different domain by itself. And it takes a lot of time, energy, and concept thinking to pull this together. And we have, I believe we have done our best to pull all the modules together, which would give you a solid ground and grounding on both the GIS world and the AI agentic harness thinking as well. So we have called out only the few bonuses in these slides, but there could be more based on the feedback from the cohort, and whatever we are pulling together, we will be sharing it with the cohort, and it's there for them to access, learn, do, and grow. Again, at the start, I promised one thing that would only exist live, and this is one other thing. The first 20 registrants get a private one-on-one pathway session with the team, 30 minutes on your background, your goals, your capstone choice, and your fastest route through the pathway before the cohort even begins. This will be removed from the replay, and we thought we will keep it condensed to first 20 people because we need to be mindful of how much we can add value to the people. We can't just willingly say like we will do it for all the people in the cohort. We will try our best to support all the members, but the first 20 members will get this one-on-one pathway sessions where they can explore the opportunities and navigate the path, like what is fit for purpose for them and your specific scenario. One more look at the full stack, the core level, 12 live modules, but it has grown to 22 live modules as we speak. All the GIS skill library, 7 production files. As I said, these bonuses are only for the introductory cohort members. And there are other bonuses that we'll be adding, which is not advertised. And once you start getting into the course, you will see, you will leverage all the bonuses that we are adding and all the courses and all the features that we are trying to implement. And there are also other modules that we are working on right now to add weight to the concepts and very specific to GIS, also heavily agentic thinking and the harness thinking aligned to it. So both of the two worlds stitched together. And as I said, Foundation Bridge course, it's been discounted only for the cohorts, the first cohort, and I believe this price is not going to be the same for the future cohorts since it's an introductory course, and I see a lot of people are still in the online trying to hang in there till the end of the webinar, and just to recognize that effort on a weekend. And this being an introductory course, we are just only recognizing the people in this live chat who can who have committed their time and energy at this time in the weekend and spent the last 1 hour with us. I should say 1.5 hours. Probably it's 2 hours now. So take advantage of this pricing. I believe there's a lot of value we will be adding to the course, and this is an evolving course. And as and when we see multiple scenarios, multiple projects, we are working on other projects too parallelly. Whatever we learn, it will be exposed, and you have the leverage and skill set and combined experience in this team where I believe you could leverage the capability from a learning perspective, from a professional perspective, and also navigating in your professional world. And there is also a corporate alignment to it, which is planned, and it will come in the future. We'll be getting into corporate scenarios too, where we can get in and add some value with this harness thinking in that forum as well. But it's being ironed out as we speak. But this is the offer we have, and you will start to think differently. So that is this is what's going to happen. So these are all not inflated promises. So you will start to think differently. You will show up, do the labs, build your capstone projects, and every workflow you touch starts to look like a system you can design, guard, and automate. Agents don't replace the people who build and direct them, and not understanding AI will no longer be the thing holding your career back. That's a commitment we can stand by. So basically, this is all the skill sets we must get on board now. And as I said previously, this is the right time to get on it. Start learning these skill sets and be prepared for the future which is coming our way. So if you're saying to yourself, but I'm not a coder or I'm not a GIS person, we got that covered too. We're all new at one time. The question is only which half you're at. A 30-minute readiness check routes your honesty. The team will help you navigate into the core or through the bridge first, and they would help you out. And if the program isn't right for you, the check will say, so we route people. We don't upsell them, you can't learn to swim in a seminar, so you have to get into the pool. The labs are the pool, and we are in the waters with you. So any scenario, we will productively look into those scenarios, navigate with the first principle thinking with GIS and the agentic AI harness thinking. And we will get into the details and make sure everyone's is confident with the first principles. And there will be a lot of capstone projects that will be executed, sampled, and trialed and closed out. So basically, there will be future projects that will be introduced, and it will be there for you to experience the scale of things that you could achieve with GIS in combination with agentic AI thinking. So if you think I don't have time, your first working agent runs in a week, not 3 months. Week 1, you will have an agent up and running. Live sessions are there for you to access, catch up, and ask any questions, and it will be solved as and when we have any questions. And as mentioned, it's a live session, and the cohort would be very minimum at this stage, because we need to be realistic on how many people we can handle in a session, just to make sure we are justifying the time, energy, and make sure everyone's on board with the concepts. And we are dealing with 2 separate domains, which is GIS as well as agentic AI harness. So we need to be absolutely sure everyone who's in this cohort understands both those worlds, and the team there, the team at AGSRT would do the right guidance where needed, depending on where you are at, and they can navigate you in the right direction on what is the best fit for purpose, which level certificate is good for you, and the team would help you out. Can't I learn this free online? Parts of it, genuinely, yes. So why is everyone still stuck? Because scattered information isn't a pathway. So there is a reason why we go to school, why we go to uni, and go through a structured experience. So this is a sequence curriculum, the live debugging and all that live sessions and the reviews, and you'll be working with experienced people in the domain. It's not like you're working with inexperienced people. All the team members are really experienced, and the combined experience is really up there. And it's not about doing it yourself. The leverage here is the execution and the team and the leverage you have with the team that you can access. As I said, there's combined experience. We have been through several scenarios and professional requirements, and we have worked for multiple companies, looked through live scenarios, production level systems, and whatnot. So we are there guiding you each step of the way for the concepts. As I said, we are dealing with first principles here. We are not throwing you the deep end. And you will have all the assistance that you need to guide you both academically and professionally. Is it too early? Will this all change? The tools will change. As you know, there's a lot of models happening in the market, but the harness thinking won't. Permissions, planning, memory, those are all the first principles that's here to stay. And if you think about it, all the top 5 companies in this AI space literally are based on the harness thinking. And for example, Cloud Code, it's based on the first principles, which is pretty much the harness thinking. And this course literally covers the core concepts that most of the top company harnesses are built on. Harnesses being Cloud Code, Codex, and the likes of it from the companies. Models will come and go. The person who can wrap any model in a trustworthy system stays valuable through every wave. So early isn't the risk, late is. So you need to come on board, learn this, implement this, and grow in pace, and be ready for whatever is coming our way from a professional perspective, as well as things are going to rapidly change in the next few years. So let's be prepared for that. And as I said, there is a catch, so we can only justify the time, effort, and energy for a certain number of people, and make sure they are across the concepts and for both domains, GIS and the agentic harness, and then it closes. So if you're interested, make sure you fill out the form that was put in the chat. Use that link, complete the form, register your interest, and lock in the offer price that the team has facilitated. And it's, I believe, they discounted it for a reason. Take leverage of that. And the first enrollments opens at 29 July. And the founding terms and founding member status are not going to be offered again, and the next batches it will evolve. But the first people who take us on this cohort, this course at this stage, will literally enjoy all the leverages and bonuses that we have planned in the background. So 2 futures. So you can close the tab. Everything stays as it. The report still repeats. The industry keeps moving. This exact thought returns in a year with more competition and no founding cohort. Register tonight. In a few months, a working autonomous spatial agent you built, a capstone in your portfolio, a founding seat in the network, and the skill set the next decade of this industry runs on. So go to that form, register your interest, and if there is any questions, that just shoot through. This is your time to answer. Ask any questions, and we will try our best to answer your questions. I need to navigate my way to find where the question and answers are. Let me see. Let me stop sharing. So is there any questions that we want to call out and we want to get it answered?
One question at the beginning where one of the team members had asked is about, it is Pratham who asked the question saying that does it work with physical AI?
That's a great question. Sorry, I didn't get the name. Whose question was that? So yeah, Pratham. So does it work with physical AI? Look, this concept is the harness. To answer your question straightforwardly, yes, it can, but you need to spend some time understanding the first principles. Once you get the hang of the first principles, understand the core concept, you can navigate your path and build as much as you can and work out all the tools and provisioning that you need and the capability that you need to enable the harness to handle with the right models. There is a lot of specifics and details to it that can be worked out. So it's a very structured approach. There are a lot of projects and white papers and use cases that have proven and it's already there. So I can point you in the right direction through those validated use cases and white papers, and few companies that have already achieved that. So to answer your question, yes, you can.
Anybody else? Okay, there is one more question which has come up. So, guys, whoever has a question, please go ahead and raise your hand, and you can also talk. And I have Rajagopalan. He's asking, can you teach discipline-wise, like civil engineering application?
Sure. That is the core principle. So that's why we are not teaching models or tools. Yes, it will come eventually once, as I said, the first principles are first principles. They don't change. Civil engineering is a domain. Yes, civil engineering, as you know, it's a specialized domain like GIS, like civil engineering, like electrical engineering. Each domain has their own skill sets. Let's assume this is just a hypothetical scenario, just to keep things for you to imagine. Let's imagine you're a civil engineer. You understand the first principle and the harness concepts. There is a use case that you want to solve. So if you think that through with the harness thinking and the first principle thinking that we will be covering in the modules, so what it will give you is a structured thinking on how you would approach it. So you would start off with what is the problem that I'm trying to solve as a civil engineer, and you will map out the process of the workflow that you want to solve. And from that, with the first principle knowledge that you gained with the harness thinking, what will happen is you'll step through, okay, for this workflow or the business problem that I'm trying to solve as a civil engineer, what knowledge do I need to have? What context do I need to have? What memory should I be facilitating the harness? What tools should I provision? What LLM makes it happen for civil engineers? What compliance should I follow? What rules the model should be following or the harness should comply to? So when it comes to civil engineering, as you know, as I believe you're a civil engineer, there is a lot of rules and regulation, and each country and organization have their rules, and they have strict compliance, and they have to go through a lot of compliance stuff, right? So all that can be harnessed within the harness thinking and facilitated in that architecture, and we can make it happen for any use case or workflow. And that's what it's interesting with this harness thinking. So any use cases that you throw at it, you can look at it step by step and then make it happen. And eventually you will have an harness which complies to your business problem that you're trying to solve and the agentic workflow that you're trying to achieve. I hope that answers your question.
So in civil engineering, it have survey, design, estimation, and execution. Can we cover this area?
Yes. So the question I have is sorry, what was the first one you mentioned before estimation? Sorry, I didn't get that.
I'm not getting your asking. See, in civil engineering project, look at estimation now. First survey, then design and estimation. This is cost estimation.
Sure. So I believe survey is a separate set of requirements. Estimation is a separate set of requirements, right? So there is certain rules, regulations, and steps and procedures you need to follow. So if that is what you're trying to automate or capture as context and knowledge, yes, you can facilitate those thinking into the harness that you're pulling it together. So basically, for example, not going into the details, if you're doing a survey, right? So I'm just making this up without any real use cases or a problem statement, but I would start off with the problem statement, what you're trying to solve. But let's assume you have a survey plan, right? I'm just making this up. So you have like X number of projects, you have survey plans, and you want a model to know all the survey plans, and it needs to understand from a spatial or a survey perspective all the rules and regulations, the normal questions you ask in a surveying scenario. All those questions are programmed in the harness in a guidance kind of perspective. It can be articulated in the harness. And what a model, you will pick a model, say it could be any model, so the best in the class for surveying, right? So we can step it through. There are certain benchmarks, certain models tick off, meaning you'll pick a model which is fit for purpose for surveying. So what would happen is you pick a model and you provide all these we are touching on. As you said, there are other estimation and all the other steps that you comply and work out in your business flow, right? So if the surveying is the question and the answers that you want to solve using a model, and there is a workflow that you want to automate, you equip the setup with the context, the knowledge, the experience, the skills, and the way you think and approach. Once you provide that context, capture that knowledge, the model will know what you're asking, and it's trained in a way like it understands your intent, and it will do more than what you ask for. Like the example that we were trying to display. So the same prompt, what Midhun was trying to showcase with the same prompt, it did more than what you asked for because it understood the intent. Intent being, okay, I want to see all the neighboring 500 meters, whatever the residential places are from my location, right? But it understood the intent, it routed, and it also generated a map with all the details, how much distance and how far it is from your place. And it gave above and beyond kind of based on your intent, right? So the same thinking and principle would apply for any domain. If you know clearly what is your context or the problem statement that you're trying to solve, and the agentic workflow or the task that you're trying to achieve, and the knowledge that you want to build on and leverage, it can be harnessed in the harness. It can be harnessed in the agentic setup. So the same thinking and the protocol would apply to estimation, and you can keep on going and building all the capability that you could think of. And literally, as Midhun said, it's kind of like a magic. It's superhuman. You would be amazed at the stuff and the things that it can do. I'm literally amazed by the stuff it does on a day-to-day basis, and it is literally magic. Once you get the hang of it, the concepts, and once you start prototyping it, you would experience pretty much what I'm trying to say now. And it comes from doing and understanding what we are trying to say. Yeah, I know it's like throwing all those fancy stuff like harness, agentic thinking, MCP servers, and all those technical stuff. But once you get the hang of it, it's very logical, very apparent, and it's as I said, it's first principle thinking.
So, good question.
Okay.
May I ask one more question?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Sir, if you please take a case of highways design. I want to design a highway for a 200 kilometers. I am able to give the starting coordinate and end coordinate. And what input, other inputs you require.
So my question would be, Mr. I believe your name is Rajagopal. So I believe your question is, the question I have is, what is the problem that you're trying to solve? What are you trying to achieve with that example you gave me?
No, I am not getting you. What you are asking?
So I'm just trying to understand what exactly are you trying to solve? Because the question you asked, what it says to me is, it can do more than what you just mentioned as a use case. Say, for example, you're working on a highway project and you have all the details of the project. So you would have all the...
Please forgive me. I am not having all the details. I am having the starting coordinate and the ending coordinate. It's only I am having. It is possible to design.
So it depends on the tools, the procedure, and what you're going to design. So I will ask, like, what tools would you use to design? Usually, let's forget agentic thinking. What tools would you use to design that highway?
Yes.
Would you use CAD? Would you use GIS, ArcGIS, QGIS? What programs would you use?
I usually use the QGS.
So what would happen in that case is, say, let's assume in a harness thinking, what will happen is, you will go into a chat and say, here is the highway project, here's the starting coordinate, and you will expose QGIS. Look, without the details, I'm just making this example out so that there is some understanding, but we will go into a systematic approach to what we are trying to solve here. But just to give you an idea, so you will expose the QGIS tool into the harness thinking. You will expose the highway GIS layers where available. And then if you ask the question, here's the coordinate, here's the start and the end coordinate for the highway. What it will do is it will access the QGIS tool, geo-coordinate, like geocode the start and the end. It will start designing based on your instruction and the tools that you have exposed to the harness. It will get your job done. There's more details to it, but I'm just at a higher level. I'm just giving a bird's eye view of what is possible.
Okay. We will meet at the class.
Okay, Makhesh, I think I will take up this two questions which are asked by Ambna and Chandrasekhar. The first question is, what basic knowledge is expected from a person who wants to enroll in the basic course? So to answer that, I would like to share a screen so that all of you can have a clear understanding of the structure in which we are going forward in the learning criteria. Now, basically, you are going to be part of, you have to have certain skill sets, and those skill sets are mainly the GIS, the Pythons, the GeoPandas. And what we have done is, what we have designed is, the foundational bridge is basically to understand if you are up to the mark to start the harness learning. So the main course everybody has to focus is the Certified Agentic GIS Builder. So the foundation bridge is like a refresher, wherein if you have the knowledge about GIS, Python, libraries, in a 30-hour session, we will refresh it and make you up to the level of doing the code. Now, how we are doing it, if you're interested, please fill up the form, and then we will get in touch with you, assess the skill sets that are required, and we will assess your skill set, and then we will suggest you which one you are good to go. That's the first thing. Second question is about, which was asked, is, one second, let me just pull it up. It says, how will the integration of AI tools impact the demand for entry-level GIS technicians versus senior analysts? I think Makhesh and Midhun can also add some points here, but before I pass the dice to them, I have a simple thing. In last 5 6 years, what has changed is the entry level jobs. We always have this concept saying that GIS is just digitization and map making. I think that's 500 years back, to be very honest. The jobs that are going to come in very near future are based on automation, are based on development, are based on WebGIS, are based on agentic AI. That's where GIS is moving. That's where the highest package of jobs are going to come in the field of GIS. And this is where all the domain team members who are participating should be able to participate and learn and then grow with the new developments that are happening. And agentic AI is just one step ahead. If you look at in India, this particular concept is still new. Even across the world, maybe one or two programs like that. And before somebody gets in, it's up to you to take up the first advantage. And as and when the industry changes, which is going to be very soon, you are ready with the skill sets that are required. So it is very important. So we are not even talking about entry level. The digitization jobs are going to be automated. So if we are sitting with skill sets like map making, editing, like I said, it's 500 years back. So today, the highest job paying jobs in India, where we are talking about a 2-year experienced GIS developer getting around 7 to 8 lakh package. And we have situations where somebody with 5 to 7 years still struggling to get that package. And that's the deal. That's the difference. So what the difference that we are talking about is the skill set has to be changed with the change in the industry. And the industry is moving forward towards AI, towards automation, towards agentic AI. And if you feel that you cannot, it's possible. A lot of people have done it with automation, learning. So it's all about upgrading the skill. Makhesh, you want to add something to this?
Yeah, sure. So as Vijay was saying, things are moving rapidly around us as we speak. There could be another model that has been launched, or some other company has made people redundant and whatnot. Like, there are stories that you're hearing. So coming back to this scenario of whichever domain, it doesn't matter. So how things are going is everything is going to be AI and agentic. And all domains are shifting to that. The trends are saying that. And people who have this agentic thinking are the ones who the companies are going to prefer. And I see the shift is going in that manner, meaning if you think about it, if you can get the job done in an efficient, better, faster, and cheaper, the employers would really go for it. And I think the trend is that's where it's going. So it's best to position yourself as someone, whatever domain you're in, to position yourself as someone who understands the agentic layer and have that in your skill set, because that will go a long way until things change rapidly when AGI or ASI happens. So in the near future, that's the trend, and that's what the trend is saying us. So that is pretty much my view, Vijay. So basically, that's where the trend is happening. Whoever has an agentic layer or agentic understanding of the AI engineering side of things in their repertoire, they would be able to survive and grow and get into any companies that align to AI quickly.
All right.
So thank you, Makhesh. So yeah, I hope it's a wonderful webinar. I know still people are there participating. Thank you for your time. And yeah, so one thing we are here to promise. I think somebody have any question, or it is Aniru Aniruddha Pandey. You
Awesome.
can.
What's
Hello.
ஓகே சார், நீங்க பிரைஸ் தான் கொஞ்சம் அதிகமா தெரியுது.
Hello.
Yeah.
அதாவது அது ட்ரிப் ஏரியா எவ்வளவு இருக்கு, காமன் ஏரியா எவ்வளவு இருக்குன்னு சொல்லணும்.
I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, sorry, sorry for that. I think, yeah. So I can promise you guys that this is something big we are cooking up, and those who are going to come up, because we are no more going to do any manual process. So AGSRT, even our goal and our things are moving around AI or going along with the harness, because this is going to be the future. And if we not following this, people, we can see that there are a lot of things, lot of wonder, lot of surprises every day. You may can see it in LinkedIn or news or anywhere, and we'll be thinking what the hell we are doing. And this is going to happen very soon, and we'll be wondering how humans are achieving this, how things are happening. So if you really want to know, you wanted to go with that pace, this is the right decision you have to take. And we are already started, and this is crazy, and this is what we are into. I mean, 2 3 months actually we are literally got pumped up by working. I mean, what Makhesh is telling, when we start trying on this, this is amazing. The way the machine, its brain and heart. I mean, I can simple ways tell you that what you're gonna understand in this course is about its brain and heart, how it's working, and how you can create a thinking level for it, and how you can utilize that, and you can become a smart guy in your organization, where the companies are actually looking for these kind of people right now. And it's rare, it's not that there are competition, nothing, but this is something we are talking about the future. Still there are a lot of people are still not understand, or they are still living in a dream world. Okay, the manual process is going to go on. No, this is a harsh truth. I mean, there are few things we saw in the links or the US website. I mean, it's shocking that billions of jobs are replacing by AI. So it's only one way is something which we have to go with AI. Understand, it's not a rocket science. You guys have the knowledge, either in the GIS or the coding side. We can fill that and we can go together. And this is the harness we are creating. And as we said, there are a lot of surprise if we come together with us. We're gonna build it, and there will be a project or even a job opportunity. As a founder, I'm telling that we always pick our guys who come through and perform well. We all passionate. We always pick them into our team. That is one opportunity, and also we can refer you to the right companies who really looking at this kind of skill. I'll tell you, this skill is matters a lot, and the companies definitely will attract you. This is what I can say. And thank you, guys. I wanted to end up here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending. So we are closing this meeting. So any queries or anything, our team is there. You can contact them directly. Thank you, Makesh. Thank you, my team. So we'll see you soon.